It may be surprising, but each year more people die of lung cancer than colon, breast, and prostate cancers combined. Not only does MedStar Health Cancer Network at MedStar Franklin Square offer excellent treatment, it also offers something just as important to many patients: hope. Veteran John Sauer is recovering from treatment for stage 3 lung cancer. He joins us now alongside his doctor, Dr. Suman Rao, medical oncologist and director of the thoracic oncology at MedStar Franklin Square Medical Center, and Dr. Chen, also a medical oncologist. So happy to have you three here. John, I want to start with you. You have COPD, and one day you started having symptoms. Just tell me a little bit about that.
One day I just couldn't breathe. And my wife kept nagging me to go to the hospital, and I finally gave in. I went to the hospital, and they kept me for like 4 days. And they ran some different tests, and that's when they found out that I had, right after that, they found out I had stage 3 lung cancer.
And how did you wind up coming to MedStar Franklin Square and meeting with your oncologist, Dr. Suman Rao?
My lung doctor recommended her, yeah.
And what went through your mind when you received that diagnosis?
I wanted to find a doctor that could help me and take care of it, and that's why they brought me with Dr. Rao and Dr. Chen.
Dr. Rao, what did you notice about John when he first came to you?
So John had been diagnosed with lung cancer, but if you just looked at John, if you just met him, you wouldn't have known that John had cancer. He was otherwise feeling fairly well. He was not having a lot of symptoms from the lung cancer, and he looked good. He's a very active man and continued to function, do his usual activities. So early on, I did feel that John would be a candidate for a trial if he had one.
And at what point did you consider him for COAST?
So John got treated first with chemotherapy and radiation, which is the standard for his stage of disease. He had stage 3 lung cancer, and for that stage, the treatment of choice is chemotherapy and radiation. And so he went through that. He really tolerated it extremely well. He tolerated the radiation, recovered quickly from it, and then toward the end of that course, we started to talk about this trial and to say we know that adding the durvalumab after the chemotherapy and radiation we know is of benefit. That study has been done, it's proven, and I just wanted to see if John would be interested in trying an additional drug with it to see if he could make his outcome even better. And because he did so well with the chemotherapy and radiation, I was confident that he could be a good candidate for the trial and also, tolerate additional treatment.
Dr. Chen, I wanted you to tell me just a little bit more about the COAST clinical trial and what exactly it is.
So this is a clinical trial for patients with lung cancer that are kind of in the gray zone, where they're not early stage, so they're not operable, but they're also not late stage, so they're not metastatic yet, so they're kind of in the middle. And what we're trying to do is optimize their outcomes. And we've tried things like chemotherapy and radiation in the past, and that's had some success, but we all know that we have to do a lot better. And what this trial is looking at is trying to improve upon what we're already doing. And namely, it's trying to look at new immunotherapy drugs to see if that can improve everybody's outcome in this stage.
And if you could also just explain to me what immunotherapy is for those who are not familiar.
So immunotherapy is kind of the future of cancer treatment, we think. We're trying to utilize people's own immune system to fight cancer. That's very different from chemotherapy, radiation. In many ways, this is a win-win because it can be very, very effective in killing cancer, and it's also well tolerated. So we're hoping that in the future we can move further away from chemotherapy and really focus on this immunotherapy.
And how is John doing today, and what is his prognosis, doctors?
John's doing great. I mean, he's completed treatment. He's in complete remission. We have to monitor his scans closely, but I think he's going to do very well.
So at this point, it's looking better and better every day. The further out we get without any signs of the cancer coming back, the better off we are. But it is, there's no specific finish line. We just have to keep following him over time. And as time goes on, the further out we get without any cancer, the better off he will be.
John, any advice that you would give to others who have COPD or they have a lung cancer diagnosis? What would you tell them?
I would recommend that they get involved and get a doctor and get it taken care of. Don't put it off. A friend of mine had colon cancer and he put it off and he wouldn't take no treatment stuff, and unfortunately he's not with us today. So I would definitely take and recommend, believe me, I don't like getting needles or anything like that. I'd rather get shot than a needle, but that's just, you got to do what you got to do if you want to be around. I got 7 grandkids and I'd like to see them all graduate college at least.
Thank you, John and Doctors Rao and Chen, for joining us. To meet with a lung cancer specialist, call the Angelos Center for Lung Diseases. That number is 443-777-1133. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.